Uh, well, in the matter of time, let's
Quaxly,
move on to Quaxly. So,
Quaxly, my boy.
Quaxly, this Pokemon migrated to Paldea from distant lands long ago. The gel secreted by its feathers repels water and grime.
It's
And
supposed to be like a blue-footed booby.
I thought it was a duck. It's a Quaxly. And
Well, yeah, but
it's
it has blue feetsies.
and its strong legs let it easily swim around even fast-flowing rivers. It likes to keep things tidy and is prone to overthinking things. Well, that's
I love
relatable.
them.
But
It's like truly, truly relatable. I love this bird. I love everything
uh,
about it.
I well, first of all, I want to say that I wonder what region it's supposedly from
Listen,
because
next region, I'm putting money down. I won't, don't quote me on this because I'm not a gambling man. Next region is probably going to be either China or Argentina. We'll get to it.
okay,
Or, I mean,
well,
Brazil. Brazil. Sorry, my bad. Brazil. Brazil, not
uh,
Argentina.
I will say that Quaxley was the most underwhelming of the three starters for me when they showed them off.
Yeah.
I've
She doesn't
I've
say much.
I've come to terms that in terms of starting Pokemon, I tend to be not very interested in the ones with a lot of what I call empty color, white or brown in the case of Chespin. They look kind of generic to me. I didn't
Yeah.
care for the Score Bunny much because of it. I didn't care much for Poplio because of it. I didn't care
I
much for
mean,
Oshawott because of it.
Quaxly doesn't truly look like a Pokemon. It really doesn't.
Yeah,
Like
I
if you told me it was like a Hello Kitty character, I would believe.
I did. I was curious what it would evolve into, and I wasn't sure. Like there was possibilities that I would like what it evolved into, but I didn't
Yeah.
care for it on the basis of itself. And just since they won't come into play when we talk about the evolutions, I'll say that the two of the evolution ideas that I'd heard that I was most uh liked. One was kind of like a Johnny Bravo kind of like because he has like the pompadour,
Yeah, yeah.
and the other was actually by I think it was by Pokemaniacal Chris, which it was a Picasso theme, a Picasso artist Pokemon that has
Oh,
like
I dig it.
watercolors.
Well,
And
shout out to a friend of the show, Pokemon Uncle Chris, and your
yeah,
cool idea.
no, yeah, that idea stuck in my head. I knew it wasn't really probably gonna happen, but like I
Yeah.
was like, this would be the only thing that would like make me absolutely love this Pokemon if
Yeah,
it became a
that's how I
Spanish
felt
artist.
about my Fuecoco evolution. Had I heard about Pokemaniacal's Quaxley theory, I would have been all over it. I would have been all over it, and it would have been very upsetting.
But all things considered, I'm gonna be nice and put it in a C tier,
Aw,
middle
my
of the road.
son.
And uh I'll be nice. I'll put it above Tinkatink.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
fine with it. I don't hate it. It's there.
I'm gonna rate it below Sprigatito because I do love him. I do like three starters a lot. From when I saw them, I was smitten by them, and in my playthrough, um, Director Clavel. Sorry that I'm pronouncing all these names. I'm not apologizing. I'm pronouncing all these names in a Spanish accent because it makes sense for me too.
That's fair.
But Clavel had Quaxley, and it just makes sense if you know about Clavel and their secret identity and stuff, right? Like you talked about
Yeah.
pompadours, like it made sense.
Yeah, no, that does.
So like it just I loved how serendipitous it all played out in my head, and that's why I picked Fuecoco both times because it just makes sense to me, and I love how that worked. It felt right, and Quaxley is beautiful, and they're friend shaped, and I would definitely have one in real life, and I wouldn't evolve it uh, unless I could evolve it straight into its final evolution. But we'll talk about that.
Okay, before we do, I just want to, on the mention of Pompadour, just complain that the Pompadour hairstyle in this game is the worst Pompadour I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's not even a pompadour. It's just slick back hair. Like I would have a pompadour right now if like if that was a pompadour.
Yeah, I saw that when because I went extensively through the character design, and which I also was super disappointed that there's only 4 outfits, but yeah.
Yeah, that was frustrating. But then I thought about it and I'm like, well, it's your school uniform, so I guess it makes sense. But I feel
So
like it's probably just to, like
they just
limit.
they just need to have you put the school uniform back on for classes. The Pokemon Sword and Shield had you put
Yeah,
the
your jersey.
your
Yeah.
jersey
No,
back on for every gym.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Like I agree. They should have had more clothing option.
I had
Like I'm
such
gonna
the rest of my outfit was so cool, and it clashed with my. It was like some
oh
cool like
yeah.
punk outfit, and then it clashed with my dumb school outfit.
Yeah, the Naranja Academy colors are rough. At least like Uva Academy, it's like a flat, like
Yeah,
royal purple. So like you can match things a little nicer, but like this like deep orange with like the white stripes,
it's
it
awful.
it is not it's not a good look. It really isn't. And again, I must
Penny
remind
gets
everybody, I played both.
Penny gets to wear whatever she wants.
Yeah,
But
Penny upsets me. Like I wanted that Eevee backpack. I wanted nothing but it. I thought like if I finished the quest line and like found bait friends with her, she would let me have it. She does not let you have it. Spoiler alert. It's very upsetting. I want that Eevee backpack.
okay, well, I guess we should move
Quaxwell.
on to Quaxwell, which
Waxwell.
sounds like some professor at an academy. Professor Quaxwell.
Yeah.
It sounds like a professor from like DuckTales. But
Ooh.
these Pokemon constantly run through shallow waters to train their legs, then compete with each other to see which one of them kicks most gracefully. And the hard-working Quaxwell observes people and Pokemon from various regions and incorporates their movements into its own dance routines.
Ba, 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 ba.
And I mean, I saw this Pokemon very briefly in game. I saw it, I think, once maybe with a battle and a rival, maybe twice. I don't know.
Yeah, because your Nimona would have it. Just one battle. Yeah.
Yeah, just one battle. I think that's the only time I saw Quaxwell. And I saw it and I was like, I'm glad I didn't pick Quaxly.
Ugh, yeah.
We already have a dancing Pokemon. I've already complained about it with Legends Arceus.
Blossom?
What?
What's a dancing
the
Pokemon?
ballet one from Legends Arceus.
Oh, I don't remember.
It was Hisuian.
Oh, Lilligant.
Lilligant.
Hisuian Lilligant. I
Like,
love Lilligant.
We just got a dancing Pokemon that was like graceful like this. Why do we need it again 2 gens in a row? And this thing doesn't even look graceful. It is the definition. It's the
the awkward middle stage.
Yeah, it is like if I needed to include the best example of awkward middle stage, I would show Quaxwell. This thing. Like its legs. What are those cankles?
It is rough. Like it's like weird.
Why it looks like thighs like
longer.
balls? Like
yeah, and like it's kind of funny that Quaxwell advertises credit cards in in like the billboards. I don't know if you noticed. I looked at those billboards for a long time, and Sprigatito is like advertising like an energy drink. Then Crocolore is cereal, and Quaxwell is credit cards. Like wow. I'm like you, like truly unfortunate. F tier. It is unfortunate.
I had to put it in F tier. I just
same. It's my first F, but like, ugh.
Man. I didn't go into this knowing I was going to give it an F because I haven't looked at it enough. But I'm just looking at its picture. I can't. I really can't. This is probably rough. One of the worst designs in the game.
It's rough. I mean, that's it though. Quaquaval.
Quaquaval?
Quaquaval. It's Carnival. Carnaval. Quaquaval.
Quaquaval. Okay. Well, now I finally know how to pronounce it. I pronounce it a different way every time.
Quaquaval.
Quaquaval.
Quaquavel. I like that. Sounds like an ice cream.
Uh, a single kick from a Quaquavel can send a truck rolling. This Pokemon uses its powerful legs to perform striking dances from far off lands. And dancing in ways that evoke faraway places, this Pokemon mesmerizes all that see it. Flourishes of its decorative water feathers slice into its foes. So there's a lot
Samba.
there's a lot going on with its design. It would fit in well with Ludicolo.
Yeah, Mirror B, right?
Yeah, he'd probably have one.
He would have a Quaquavel.
I think its animation in battle is all right. Where it's doing like I think it's doing like a 3-step if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's like a It's doing what Carnival dancers do. I don't know if you know anything about Carnival.
Not much, no.
I'll talk about it later when it's my turn.
Well, and I do like its like kind of peacock tail that it has. But my big problem with it is the red bits, like the big red eyebrows and the big red toes. They just clash with the color so much. I don't like it. There's things here that I would like, but ultimately I like it less than Quaxly. And I think I would put it in my first D tier, unfortunately. With some tweaks, I could probably get up to C or even a D, but like as it stands, I don't like it, and I'm not too disappointed that I didn't have one until post game because I wouldn't have used it. I had other water types to use.
Well, in our first major disagreement, Quaquaval was everything I could have hoped for and more in ways that I didn't know I needed. I would never want this Pokemon to exist in real life. Like, I think it's a very uncomfortable Pokemon for a child to own.
It's taller than me.
Yeah, it is large. It is sexual in a way that Pokemon should not be. But man, it's infectious. Like, its energy is truly infectious in a way that I don't understand. I mean, I do understand, and that's what I was going to get to. So Carnaval is a period of holiday that is celebrated in Latin America, Spanish-speaking countries in general, but it came primarily from Brazil, which is why I said that the next generation is probably either Brazil or China. We'll talk about it later. So Carnaval happens right before Holy Week in the Christian calendar, and it's like what we would describe up in the US as like analogous to Mardi Gras, where you like party, celebrate, overindulge before you go into a period of like abstinence, right?
Yeah.
So Carnaval dancers are these men and women who dress in very flamboyant clothing, obviously like Quaquaval, but like if you've played Dragon Quest XI, Sylvando dresses like a Carnival dancer towards a point in the game, pretty late in the game, but like, you know, there's a lot of representation of that kind of vibe. Friend of the show, Shady Gamer, would love the reference to Sylvando. So I think it's like, I really like it. I think that they designed it to fit super well with what they were going for. Like, as soon as I saw it, even without seeing it animated, I'm like, oh, it's a Carnival dancer. And that's why immediately I'm like, oh, it's Quaquaval, right? Because it's a carnival, but it's quacking. Cool. Okay. And then I saw it animated when, you know, when you eventually see them, depending on the game that you have. And it blew my mind because it generates these like peacock feathers, right? You talked about it a little bit, that like embody like in the back, and it's like truly, it's like the ultimate display of pageantry that like it's so Carnival. And like you said, like it's doing the Carnival thing. Like it does a little shimmy when it like wins combat, you know, and like it runs around like with its hands up in the air in like a very effeminate way, in a way that just like hits right. Like it truly sparks joy in a way that Marie Kondo has never conceptualized to me. And even then, not an S tier, but it is my favorite of the 3 final evolutions. I can't explain it any further, and I will take no criticism and commentary.
No, I fully understand, and I think it ultimately comes down to I've not been exposed to that cultural thing, and so it doesn't resonate with me properly. But
well,
I
to
can
be
understand
fair,
it.
My brother absolutely hates it. Like, remember, he picked Quaxly, and as soon as it evolved into its final stage, immediately deposited it and never looked at it again. I think it's just like this Pokemon was designed exclusively for me, and maybe shady, like in some weird way, but like the Pokemon Company just like was obsessing over my interest and delivered in Quackavall.
Or the
So
Japanese name, Wainaval.
Wainaval?
Combination of wave and carnival.
Yeah. So good.
Well, before we go on to the next one, I do want to mention that of these 3 starters, while Skeledirge is, as noted, the best, like, in terms of usefulness, Meowscarada, unfortunately, is considered the worst, especially in competitive play.
Yeah.
Which is a huge shame because it has hidden ability Protean.
Yeah, but they nerfed Protean
Yeah,
now.
that's part of the issue. They nerfed Protean. Protean used to make it so when, like, for anybody watching, I'm sure you know, but for anybody watching, Protean used to make it so anytime you used a move, your type changed to whatever that move is. So you would get stab and you would be able to keep changing your type to mess with the opponent. Now Protean only activates once per battle. And
yeah, which is rough.
Yeah, that's not super helpful. Just your first move is going to change your type, and that's it. And what makes it worse is because its type is grass and dark. One of the most common competitive moves is U-turn because it's easy to switch out, and so anybody that sees this can just U-turn and one-shot it because it takes times 4 to bug. So it's super unfortunate, but that's kind of how they end. As far as I'm aware, Quaquaval is like somewhere in the middle of usefulness out of the 3.
Yeah.
So
I actually switched Quaquaval. He's actually S tier. I'm sorry.
fair.
But I would not apologize for him being S tier, but I apologize for switching without telling.
No, that's fair. And I'm sure you're going to share your final list on the Discord.
I'll put it on the Discord. And everybody, you should also do it once we post ours. You should go online and
feel free to post them in the Discord. And
yeah.
I'd like to hear everybody's thoughts. Well, now, one of the internet's favorite things ever, Lechonk.
I love
Lechonk was one of the first Pokemon shown for these games, and the internet went crazy. They went hog wild.
Get it?
They lost their bacon for this thing.
Oh no, you're doing it on purpose. That's not as funny. Lechonk was great. Lechonk was fantastic.
Yeah, but like the memes, it was just everywhere. People I'm not sure. Like, obviously, there's lots of memeable Pokemon people go crazy with. Can't remember a Pokemon that people lost it as much as Lechonk. Yeah. And to be fair, yeah, Lechonk is great. Lechonk is based on is it a Black Iberian, is it called?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Black Iberian pig, which is a pig from the Iberian Peninsula that is like a very expensive, nice meat. It's gourmet food, which is not good for Lechonk, but it also looks like it cries like fat.
Yeah, right. It has like those little yellow marks, and like I wasn't sure if those were tears or just like beauty marks on it.
According to Bulbapedia, it just shows their growths. That's gross.
Their growths.
It says yellow growths under its eyes that resemble teardrops. Okay, maybe I didn't want to know that. But
No, I didn't want to know that either.
think I lost a tear there. It searches for food all day, according to the dex. It possesses a keen sense of smell, but doesn't use it for anything other than foraging. Which, I mean, that's mostly what things you smell for, but okay. And this Pokemon spurns all but the finest of foods. Its body gives off an herb-like scent that bug Pokemon detest.
Yum 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 yum.
Uh,
Because
it
he's based off
searches
of
for
ham.
food all day, but only will reject it if it's not the finest food. Either way, this is the normal type Pokemon of the region, which is an interesting choice to have a pig. Usually they're like small, like furry creatures.
Yeah, little rats.
Yeah, usually rodents or rodent adjacent.
Yeah.
But they picked a pig here, and it definitely has a very nice design. I did also really love Lechonk. It also has a great name, Lechonk,
Lechonk. Yeah.
which if you don't know, in addition to obviously being sounding like Spanish Lechonk, but it's also lechon,
Yeah.
Spanish for piglet.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great design. I in fact, do I want to put an A or do I want to put a B? Uh, I'll put a high B above Sprigatito, below Fuecoco. I definitely do love it. And B, I want to make it clear. B is a very good rating for me usually.
Yeah.
Like C is middle of the road. I'm actually moving the Tauruses to C now.
Yes, I'd have to do that too, right? Like it's.
I'm just looking at them there, and I'm just like, these don't fit here. These are middle of the road.
Yeah, they truly are.
But they're going to top of C still, so it's fine. But yeah, Lechonk's there. Lechonk's high B. Lechonk's good.
I actually would rate Lechonk A tier, and I agree with everything you're saying. But the reason why I would rate it A is because I think for the first time in the series, correct me if I'm wrong. Well, no, actually, Legends Arceus is probably the same thing. But you were the catching tutorial. Like somebody didn't catch a Pokemon in front of you, you caught your first Pokemon, and Lechonk is your first Pokemon that you catch. So I thought it was cute.
Yeah, I can't think of any other time they did that. So yeah.
Yeah. So just for that alone, it's A tier. I mean, on top of everything you said,
It was gonna be
I
A
like
tier, but it had growths under its eyes that.
Don't remind me of the growth. No, don't remind me of the growth because I'm gonna drop it and it doesn't deserve it.
Okay,
But yeah,
well then let's just move on to its evolution.
Oinkologne.
Oinkologne. So
Female person in this list. Yeah.
I was super. I was optimistic with Lechonk. I was hoping it would not stay pure normal type because there's a lot of
Yeah.
the more recent common things like they gain a secondary type. They go normal something, and I was like, oh well, the reason that Black Iberian Pig is so good is because it's mostly muscle fat.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, maybe it'll be fighting, normal fighting, for example. Uh, or it could be normal ground. That seemed like a very obvious thing for a Pokemon that digs around a lot for
I,
food.
I thought it would maybe even be bug because it talks about how bug types detest it. Like I don't know. I thought maybe like somehow it
I
would
don't know.
like
Maybe that'd be normal fairy because fairy resists bug.
yeah something like that. Yeah.
Normal flying and it's a pig's fly thing.
Oh yeah, that would have been good. That would have been real good.
Yeah,
Listen, you
but
should apply to the Pokemon Company for some design.
I could justify an idea with probably almost every type with this thing, and it just stayed normal. And I can't help but have felt disappointed. And unfortunately, when I saw it evolve, I had a male one, and I had it evolve. And when I saw, because the regional difference or the gender differences are there.
Yeah.
When I saw it evolve, my first thought was weirdly enough, oh no, he's hot. Like it looks like it's a suave pig now.
Yeah, like its ear is like a it's like a coif hair like
And the female
yeah
kind of does that one too with
yeah
like the very feminine eyes.
Yeah.
Which I dislike the female one more. I think that's a weird look for an animal.
Yeah.
Uh,
I agree.
the Dex entries say for the male, they say Oinkalone is proud of its fine glossy skin. It emits a concentrated scent from the tip of its tail, and it entrances female Pokemon with a sweet, alluring scent that wafts from all over its body.
Gross.
The female Dex entries say this Pokemon sends a flower-like scent wafting about. Well-developed muscles in its legs allow it to leap more than 16 feet with no trouble at all. And then Violet says this is a meticulous Pokemon that likes to keep things tidy. It shrouds itself in a floral aroma that soothes the Pokemon around it.
Yeah, you would think at least grass, right? Like normal grass. It talks about floral this and flower this, and it's like,
Only the female one talks about floral.
oh, the other
scents.
guy, it says aroma. I
It just
associate
says
aroma.
alluring scent.
Yeah.
I either way, I want to like it, but it's just it unsettles me in several ways. I don't like it as much as Lechonk.
Yeah.
I think I can kind of accept the male one as a low C tier. Right about there, right above Kingambit. The female one I really don't like, and I'm probably putting that currently at the bottom of D tier.
Yeah. I'm putting both of them in D tier. With the
You know what? No,
male
I want it in D
lower.
tier.
Yeah.
I just
I have the male one lower just because I think the female one's slightly more interesting. But I don't have a strong.
I just don't like that the way they made it's not like how a female animal differentiates. It's very human like.
Yeah, it's like a human. Yeah, it's what a human would it be if a human was a pig.
It's for the same reason that I'm not a big fan of how they do gender differences for the Frillish line, blue male, pink female.
Yeah.
I don't like when they're like the gender differences are human coded stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
But yeah, that's about all I have to say about Winkalone. It's
Agreed.
There. Okay. Now back to something great again.
Dudunsparce.
Dudunsparce. I will admit, before I saw the thing in game, like several days after the game came out, I saw online that there was an evolution to Dunsparce. That's all I saw. I didn't see what it was.
That would have been wild.
I saw something mentioning an evolution to Dunsparce, and my mind started going wild. The first thing I thought of was like Pokemon Uranium, which had a Dunsparce that was a normal dragon.
Yeah.
I was like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do with this little what's this
Tsuchinoko.
With this little Tsuchinoko? What are they gonna do?
We've wanted a Dunsparce evolution for so long.
Oh yeah, I've waited. I love Dunsparce.
Yeah.
Like
since the beginning.
Dunsparce.
Since the beginning.
Dunsparce is such an underrated Pokemon, and I got so excited. And then I got to Larry, and then he sent out Dudunsparce, and I was just like, it is everything I wanted and more.
Yeah,
like
I did what you did with previous Pokemon, where it took you a second to process. What was that? Was it Meowscarada? Was that it?
Or no, that was Clodsire.
Oh yeah. Like that was my experience with the Dunsparce. At first, I was like, and then I was like, wait, no, this is good. Like this is everything we hope for.
Yeah, it's just more Dunsparce.
It's just more Dunsparce.
Dunsparce already was a really great design, but it just didn't have an evolution.
Yeah, and we just needed more Dunsparce.
Like right down to the name, just adding an extra duh onto it.
It's beautiful.
My only disappointment is that the 3-segment one is so hard to get.
Oh, I can imagine. I haven't even tried.
My friend Rashua is been trying to farm evolutions for it just casually.
Yeah.
He just caught a bunch that are high enough level to already have Hyper Drill and just level them up once and then box it when it's not. But I also saw somebody a clip of a streamer who got a shiny Dunsparce and was evolving it, and then it happened to evolve into 3 segment, and they got so like they were speechless.
Yeah, a shiny 3 segmented to Dunsparce is like
It's a
super like
holy grail.
statistically, yeah.
But yeah, overall, I could probably not be happier with the Dunsparce. The Dunsparce is just so good. Because, like, how would you improve on a Tsuchinoko? There's no way to, like, there's no logical next step.
Yeah.
Just make it more Tsuchinoko. My
What's
only
its Japanese
disappointment.
name?
Of Dunsparce or Dudunsparce?
The Dunsparce.
Uh, Noko Kochi.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I can see where the name comes from. Uh, it's a Hmm. Nokokochi may be derived from a partial repetition of Nokochi. Oh, it's originally Nokochi, and it's Nokokochi.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine.
that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. The tiniest little complaint I have is I do wish it picked up a secondary type. I could have
Yeah.
justified a couple. I could have justified Poison with its little stinger. I could have justified Fairy. It's fine still. It's still an S tier.
Yeah.
And I'll put both the 3 segment and the 2 segment in S tier, with the 3 segment still being a little higher than 2 segment because it's even more Dunsparce. Like, give me a 4th segment. I don't care.
Four segments.
uh, the Dunsparce is going right below Clodsire.
Fair.
It's. I think you would describe it as friend shaped.
The Dunsparce is very much friendship for sure. You have statistically double/a third more friend available. I would rate it high A, above the starters. So they're splitting the line between Quackaball, but 3rd segment is higher A because it's just more
It's
Dunsparce.
more Dunsparce. What could you
Like
want more than just
I
more
wish
Dunsparce?
I wish that it would have evolved again into the 3rd segment.
Into the Dunsparce.
Dudunsparce.
It is. It's similar to why my favorite Japanese Pokemon name are for the Clink line, because it's Clink is gear and it evolves into Gigear. It evolves into Gigigear,
I love it.
and I'm
I
just
love
like, I don't even like the Clink line, but I love the Japanese name.
It's fantastic.
I mean, how can you improve on a great name other than just by giving a slightly more of the great name?
Yeah.
And now with that, we're moving over to Tarountula.
Tarountula.
I
Did it trigger your arachnophobia?
I started out the game. I've obviously encountered this thing very much near the start of this thing, and I was like, this might be the first spider I've ever seen that I like. It doesn't trigger it.
Oh.
It's so cute. It's this little ball of
Oh.
yarn. I don't know. It doesn't look, I guess, spider-like enough
Yeah.
for it. Like, I legitimately love Tarountula, and I think I'd put it in A rank. Like, I need to read its dex entries, but I'll put it right there. I excitedly put it into my party line to see what it evolved into. The dex entry is: the ball of threads wrapped around its body is elastic enough to deflect the scythes of Scyther, this Pokemon's natural enemy. And the thread it secretes from its rear is as strong as wire. The secret behind the thread's strength is the topic of ongoing research. So yeah, it's just a little ball of yarn spider friend. And I also love its name. Just tarantula, but it's round. Tarountula. It took me a minute to get
Yeah,
it,
I would.
but
Yeah, I didn't know how to pronounce it either until like see it a couple times. I would say A tier as well. Probably below Lechonk in mine.
okay.
Its evolution I do not know the
The
name of.
Spidops. Then I evolved it,
But
and then it went into my PC for the rest of its life.
Spite Ops is weird. I mean, it's like a spool of thread, right? Like that's what
It
it's kind of supposed to be.
it doesn't trigger my arachnophobia because it doesn't register as a spider to me. I don't even know what it registers. It looks so weird with its long arms. I
Yeah.
just don't like it. I was super disappointed because it has pretty much zero aesthetics from Tarountula. Like I would not have thought, like, if I had seen this Pokemon without evolving Tarountula, I wouldn't have thought it was the evolution of Tarountula. Its dex entries say it clings to branches and ceilings using threads and moves without a sound. It takes out its prey before the prey even notices it. And Spite Ops covers its territory in tough, sticky threads to set up traps for intruders. And that's it.
Hmm.
Oh, I have to place it, don't I?
Yeah.
F.
Fair.
I really
Yeah,
don't
F
like it. But
for me as well.
isn't that a shame? It goes from an A to an F.
Right?
I think that
Spite
was
Ops.
probably the most disappointing evolution for me in the game.
Hmm.
But now we have Nymble. Do you have any other
Nymble.
thoughts on Spite Ops?
Nope.
No.
You've said everything that needed to be said. Disappointing.
Okay, Nymble. This little cricket dude. I saw this kind of far-ish into the game, several gyms in. The deck says it has a third set of legs folded up. When it's in a tough spot, this Pokemon jumps over 30 feet using the strength of its legs, which I feel like grasshoppers can jump further. But
Mm.
it's highly skilled at a fighting style in which it uses jumping capabilities to dodge incoming attacks while also dealing damage to opponents. I was fairly indifferent. It's a slightly wonky looking grasshopper. I guess we didn't have a grasshopper Pokemon when I thought about it. It's fine. It's like a C tier.
Yeah.
Where is it in C tier? Probably here. It's not very high. It's fine though. I don't hate it.
Yeah. I put it high C. It's okay. I think it's cute. Like every time I see the NPC in the Bug Town, they have a little one, and it's like, oh, it's cute. It's like a little kid. It's like a Pokemon for a little kid, you know. Like that's what I think about. That's it. Low
Okay,
kicks.
low kicks. When I first saw low kicks, I kind of hated it, and then I sort of kind of started to process it, and it's a freaking Kamen Rider
Yeah.
reference, and then I kind of liked it. It
Yeah. 'Cause
also I found out,
Kamen Rider bugs.
yeah, and I found out it was Bug Dark. I thought it was pure. I thought it was Bug Fighting for some reason at first. And Bug Dark is we haven't. I don't think we've had a Bug Dark. And the deck entries say when it decides to fight all out, it stands on its previously folded legs to enter showdown mode. It neutralizes its enemies in short order. And then Violet says it uses its normally folded third set of legs when in showdown mode. This places a huge burden on its body, so it can't stay in this mode for long.
Is Showdown mode like a game mechanic? I never had
No.
it in my
No.
so like I wish it was like an ability or something.
No.
Like
Showdown mode is just it standing up like that in battle.
Yeah, like I wish it was like almost like a reverse of Wishy Washy ruling. Like when it goes below half health, it like goes into Showdown mode.
I mean, they're kind of like Darmanitan,
Oh yeah, but
Galarian one.
that's its hitting ability.
Fair.
Yeah, but I see what you
Yeah.
mean. Yeah,
But yeah. No, I was disappointed too when Showdown mode wasn't a thing because I also tried to look into it. I was like, what is Showdown mode? Like, I don't see an ability of this. And yeah.
yeah,
Even the everything I found there's no form for Showdown mode. Like,
yeah. I think it's a whole common writer of it all.
it is, and I
That
wish.
sounds like a very Power Rangers thing to say. I gotta enter Showdown mode.
But they would have had a second form for that still. Like that'd be a
They
Kamen
should
Rider
have.
thing.
Yeah, they should have.
All things considered, though, like yeah, we've had Pokemon that have been vaguely inspired by Kamen Rider, but this is the most direct reference that we've had.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because Kamen Rider was one of the many influences for early Pokemon. And
Yeah.
it is why Kamen Rider is why Bug type is strong against Dark type. Because Bug was the hero type back in the day.
Yeah.
And so
And it still makes sense that it's like a Pokemon for kids, because like kids would want like a Kamen Rider buddy to like play around with, you know?
So when I initially saw it, I probably would have put it C, but I would now probably put it low A above Annihilate.
Mm.
Once I figured out the Kamen Rider connections and stuff, and I was like, oh, this isn't just some weird bipedal grasshopper. This has some roots and some good references.
Yeah. I would put it mid to high B in front of King Gambit, if you're keeping track, viewers.
Well, that's the same place I put it, is in front of King Gambit. So,
Oh, look at that.
You have anything else? No.
Nope.
Okay.
Rolex? Is that what it is?
Where is this guy in the
I
Wikipedia page? There it is. Rellor.
Rellor. I said Rolex.
So I saw this and I was like, "Wow, they really put a dung beetle." And then I
love them.
And then I read the decks. I'm like, "Oh, of course they took out the dung."
Yeah, I wish it was dung.
This Pokemon creates a mud ball by mixing sand and dirt with psychic energy. It treasures its mud ball more than its own life. And Violet says it rolls its mud ball around while the energy it needs for evolution matures. Eventually, the time comes for it to evolve. Yeah, I appreciate that it's upside down, just like real dung beetles push, because they push with their back legs.
Yeah.
I wish they were brave enough to make it dung. If this was Digimon, it would be dung. It would absolutely be dung.
It would absolutely be dung. Did you see the shiny version?
Yeah, it's gold, solid gold.
The dung is a solid gold. Yeah,
but they had to chicken out and make it mud, and it's not even ground bug. But it's all right. I'm glad we have a dung beetle. I'll put it in B. Right there above Armor Rouge, below Charcadet.
I would put it low A, right behind Tarountula. Don't have much to say about it. I liked it. I saw it in the desert one time. I accidentally rolled into one, and I was like, "Oh, that's neat." I accidentally killed it, and didn't see it again until post game. So
I appreciate it for the sake of we didn't have a dung beetle Pokemon.
Yeah,
we do.
It's definitely diversifying the ecosystem of the Pokemon universe.
Okay. Then Rabska?
Rabska.
What is even? I have to look. What is the name?
Yeah, the etymology of that name.
Like
a scarab beetle.
Scarab combined with Ra.
Oh, so it's like Scarab, and then Ra, Scab.
Yeah, it's Scarab with the syllables transposed, and then from Ra.
Yeah. That's upsetting. I like it less.
I forgot to read the Rellor's decks. No, I did read it. I read it first.
Oh, you did. Yeah.
Yeah. Rabska's dex is the body that supports the ball barely moves. Therefore, it's thought that the true body of this Pokemon is actually inside the ball. And Violet says an infant sleeps inside the ball. Rabska rolls the ball soothingly with its legs to ensure the infant sleeps comfortably. Which these seem like contradict each other.
Countries are contradicting. Yeah. It goes into that theory that the kids are the one writing the entries.
Maybe, but I don't want to go into that theory because then everything's meaningless anyways.
Yeah.
So it's better just to assume they're correct somehow.
Yeah. Listen, Professor Jacques, he does his best.
I'll put it high C above the Tauroses. It's fine. It's not where I wanted them to go with a dung beetle. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna put it behind the Tauruses in mid to low C.
Fair.
which is always sad when the pre-evolution is high and then it
Yeah, it lost a tier, but
lost a tier. For me,
it
it
just
lost 2.
yeah, it just I don't know.
It's where it goes. I mean, I don't even know anything about its viability in combat and stuff. I wish I could do. I wish it would be better.
Its stats are pretty. It has a high special attack. That's really about it.
Yeah.
I doubt it's that good. And besides, we already had a great psychic bug last generation. You don't like?
I'm trying to think about it.
Oh,
Is it in Galar?
yeah, the ladybug.
Oh,
Orbeetle.
Orbeetle.
I love Orbeetle. So.
I never used it, but I can imagine.
Oh, I'm not talking about using it. I just like its design.
Oh yeah, well, Galar was like the first generation in a long time that I didn't even try to catch the quote unquote catch them all.
There.
So I literally knew very little about it.
There.
But yeah,
Okay.
maybe it's good.
Greavard.
Greavard
was another one that was shown off before the game came out.
Yeah, it's also another one that's Pokedex entries are counter each other.
Scarlet says it is said that a dog that died in the wild without ever interacting with a human was reborn as this Pokemon. And Violet says this friendly Pokemon doesn't like being alone. Pay it even the slightest bit of attention, it will follow you forever. And I also want to note that the reveal for this Pokemon, in the reveal video, they said that it basically slowly drains the souls of those.
Oh yeah, it flat out killed the
it just straight up murdered a child in that reveal trailer.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not the Pokedex entries. An NPC mentions that Rhyme's Houndstone was a Greavard that used to be her own pet dog that died.
Oh.
So that's what I'm referring to.
Okay.
Which is then it doesn't make sense. Because Rhyme he experienced love. Yeah, go ahead.
So Greavard, we haven't gotten into it yet, but there is, I believe, 3 dog lines introduced in this game, which is crazy. There's way too many dogs, but all things considered, I think I like Greavard the most. I like the little spooky candle.
I like that they're underground and then they pop up if you run into them.
I like that in theory. I don't like that because I kept crashing into them when I didn't see them.
Well, yeah.
And triggering numb battles.
Yeah.
Overall, I think it's a high B tier. I'd put it.
It's Rock Ghost, right?
Oh, it's Pure Ghost.
Pure Ghost.
I kept thinking it was Ghost Ground because I got one that was Terra type Ground.
Like I have this theory, and we don't have to talk about too much about it, but I had this theory that certain gym leaders were supposed to be game exclusive, like they were in Galar, and they just chickened out at the last second. And Time and Rhyme being one of them, and then your phys ed teacher and the psychic gym, I thought was the other one.
I just want to say the phys ed teacher is my favorite character.
I like her a lot, but I really do think that the intention was to have them be flipped depending on the game you had, and they probably couldn't implement it and balance it right or something because of all the other stuff that you had to balance around.
Fair.
But yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Houndstone would be like Rock Ghost, and that would make sense because then it's more time to have it. But that's what I'm saying. You said it's Pure Ghost, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But the phys ed teacher and the psychic gym leader both have meta chans, and those are psychic fighting. So it would have been easy to,
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted to say about Greavard and Houndstone. I have no other opinions.
What about your tier?
Greavard's gonna be below the Tauruses in C.
Okay. Houndstone, Dex entry. Houndstone spends most of its time sleeping in graveyards. Among all the dog Pokemon, this one is most loyal to its master. And a lovingly mourned Pokemon was reborn as Houndstone. It doesn't like anyone touching the protuberance atop its head. That might be the contradiction you see.
Oh, maybe,
Because
yeah.
the evolution says it was a lovingly mourned Pokemon, and the other one said it was somebody that
Yeah,
a
unless
dog that was
like
never interacted with humans.
yeah, unless like a dog just like randomly,
But
like a dog that dies randomly, don't know if it was loved enough.
well, I mean, it might like Kadabra's old Dex entry says it was a kid that woke up as a Kadabra.
Yeah,
So then, like, what is Abra? So, that being said, I like it slightly less than its previous form. It's
agreed,
fine. I don't know. It looks. I don't know how to put it into words. It's just not quite as visually appealing.
agreed.
I'd probably put it at top of C.
I'm putting mine at the bottom of C.
There.
That's it. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
Flittle.
Flittle. So I started seeing these things in the wild, and I was like, "The heck are these?"
This line
It's,
confuses me still
uh,
to this day.
first I'll read the decks. Flittle's
Yeah,
toes levitate about half an inch above the ground because of the psychic
just the
power
toe.
emitted from the frills on the Pokemon's belly, and it spends its time running around wasteland. How's it running? If anyone steals its beloved berries, it will chase them down and exact its revenge. Okay.
I don't understand this Pokemon. I don't.
I
What is it
don't.
supposed to be? A chick?
I'll say I caught this thing, and as I do with most new Pokemon, I was like, okay, let me look at the decks to see the silhouette of the next thing to see that it evolves. Though this thing looks so tiny, it must evolve. And I looked and I'm like, this is the silhouette of an ostrich. What the heck is what?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't. It does not make sense to me in my head. If somebody could please explain the evolutionary through line between these two, I would appreciate it.
I mean, Bulbapedia says Flittle's appearance may be based on the chicks of various bird species, and
It doesn't look like a
the
chick.
frills on its body resemble a frilled dress or gown.
Yeah, it looks like a little. It looks like a little, like UFO or like the sad egg Gudetama. Like it looks like if Gudetama was like gendered female.
To be fair, its Japanese name was Hirahina, which is a combination of Hirahira, an onomatopoeic word for fluttering, and Hina, which is chick.
Which is like chick, yeah.
So its original name then, because it's the Japanese, had chick in the name essentially. So I guess it
Yeah.
is supposed to be a chick, but yeah, I agree that it doesn't really look much like one.
I mean, you could say it's a chicken flittle.
Okay, well, either way, I think I put it in D tier.
I'm definitely putting mine in D tier. Below Uncologne.
I
Like
don't.
that's how much I don't like it.
I just like going clone more, but like it's still it just exists,
Yeah.
and there's way
It's
too
just
many
like
of them.
yeah, wasted potential. Especially again with its evolution. Like
Oh,
Esparta?
I have thoughts about its evolutions. Espathra.
Yeah.
Es-
Espathra?
Espathra's deck says it immobilizes opponents by bathing them in psychic power from its large eyes. Despite its appearance, it has a vicious temperament. And the Violet says it emits psychic power from the gaps between its multicolored frills and sprints at speeds greater than 120 miles per hour. Which, like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Do you know
Is
how
there a
fast
kilometer?
120 is? What?
What's the kilometers of that? I'm gonna look it
200.
up.
200
200.
kilometers an hour.
See, that's another thing that we're cursed with. Just keep them the same.
Like, what that is an insane. Like, I can't process a living thing moving at
It is
120 miles per hour.
very fast.
Like, I
Even in
can't.
the overworld, like it is very quick.
I've never had a car that can go 120 miles per hour. That is insane.
I don't want to be in a car that goes 120 miles per hour.
Yeah. So I do like its hair. That's kind of like a Cleopatra Karen hairstyle.
Yeah, it's also
Uh,
the model for the hair boutiques of this game.
yeah. But unfortunately, I have to put it in F tier for one reason. It is pure psychic type.
Yeah.
And this little piece of shit makes me have to completely figure out how to redefine what flying type means. Because we haven't had a non-flying type bird aside from, I guess, Quaxly. But like,
Yeah.
before this gen, we never had a non-flying type bird. And
Yeah. Like if it was a bird, it was flying type. Now we have a
yeah,
bird,
like
two birds that aren't flying type.
I had this discussion with somebody, and they were like, "Well, it's a flightless bird." I'm like, "So is Doduo. It's based off an ostrich too, and it's
Yeah.
flying type because it's a bird, not because it flies. All birds are flying type, and
Not
because of
anymore.
that, this is F type because I don't know types anymore.
Yeah.
It's top of F tier because it kind of looks cool, but it shouldn't be pure psychic.
Yeah.
That
I'm
irritates
gonna
me.
put it bottom of D for the same exact reasons that you've said. Um, I just don't hate it as much as I hate the things in F. It might go down depending on how we keep going, but like for
I
now.
mean, I can get caught up on one thing really badly, and that can sour my
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
experience. So,
No, that's fair.
and do you have anything else on that one?
Nope.